So I've had quite a few experiences with past and parallel lifetimes, and this is one of them. So it was 2014, and I had already had quite a few past life recall experiences kind of spontaneously, and I came across this book, Many Lives, Many Masters, which is about past life regression therapy. It's a very interesting book. It got my mind going, and that night before I went to sleep, I thought to myself, if there's any lifetime I should be made aware of, please let it be known in my sleep. And then I went to sleep. And at some point, I awakened into a vision that was not like a normal dream. It was just like it was actually happening. And so I'm driving across this barren wasteland covered in garbage in this hover vehicle, and I see a city in the distance, and I'm headed towards it, and I'm just thinking, man, I can't believe I live in this shit. And so I pull into the city, and I just remember there being no question that, yep, this is my life. I'm just doing my thing, nothing strange about it. And I'm doing the most mundane thing you can think of, which is going to work. So I get to my office building and pull into the garage, and then I hop in the elevator and I head up to my floor where my laboratory is. And then I just walk into my lab like, yep, just another day at the office. And I go over to the control panel and I press a button. And it reveals this Komodo dragon in this box comprised of green energy. And we're running various scans and tests on it, running its vital signs, getting information about its DNA because its species is endangered and very, very close to being completely wiped out. And that at some point after that, I woke up. So this vision was interesting for multiple reasons. I mean, for one, just how natural it felt to be in that reality without even remembering this reality that I'm currently in. It was just like, yep, this is my life. It wasn't like a dream. It was very real, distinctly different from a dream. And secondly, the fact that it appeared to take place in the linear future, so it seemed like it would be like 100 years from now of where I am in this current lifetime, which is something I didn't expect. I expected, if anything, something from the past, but this was like very vivid vision of what appeared to be in the future. And that's because time is all happening at once. All of our lifetimes that we've ever lived, they've already been lived, and we are currently living them, and they also never happened because all of it is a dream of duality. And so even though it seems like we all have individual souls and we all reincarnate in this kind of linear way and keep advancing, really it's just the infinite one having an infinite dream of duality. And we are all each other, experiencing each other's past, present, and future lifetimes simultaneously. And although these lifetimes are relatively real, the only real, true, ultimate reality is outside of time and space, at oneness with God, which paradoxically is where we are right now. But I digress. And this whole situation reminds me of Philip K. Dick. Really interesting guy. I suggest looking into his life because he had some crazy experiences. He wrote stories like Blade Runner, Minority Report, and quite a few others. And he claimed that the stories that he wrote were actually channeled from lifetimes that he was currently experiencing at the same time. So he believed that a part of himself was incarnated in these other realities, which are pretty much always kind of these dystopian future realities where there's an authoritarian government in control of things on a technological level, like a technocracy. And it's my thought that maybe those realities were being channeled into this one so that we would know that possibility exists, so that potentially we could prevent it. And it could be that even though it would appear that a part of myself is incarnated in kind of this dystopian future, that because that is happening right now, I do not have to, in the future, experience that reality as like a sort of karmic punishment for things that I did in this lifetime. I think the key to freeing ourselves from these possible dystopian timelines that parts of ourselves are incarnated in is to forgive now. And my belief, based on all of my experiences, has been that forgiveness collapses time. The more that we forgive in this moment, the more time itself collapses in on itself, and we start to remember parts of ourselves that have kind of been disassociated from each other, kind of fragmented aspects of our collective psyche, which is pretty much all of our lifetimes that we've ever lived, that are happening right now because it's all one eternal moment. So if we can forgive now, all of those moments become one, and we become closer and closer to the original state where we began, which is pure oneness. And the type of forgiveness that I'm talking about is what I learned from A Course in Miracles that says, you are forgiven for what you never did, because what we are experiencing right now is an illusion of duality. It's an illusion of separation from God, and we are forgiven for what we never did because this isn't actually happening. And our true state right now is at one with God in the kingdom of heaven. And for me, I've found that the more I practice this type of forgiveness, the more I remember these other parts of myself, and they start to seep into this reality where I can take those memories, take those experiences, and begin to integrate them so that I can better understand myself and forgive myself and the people around me, and hopefully bring myself closer to the remembrance of the kingdom of heaven that I am in right at this moment.